1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
10 in the face, slim in the waist. 10 in the face, slim in the waist. 10 in the face, slim in the waist. Do you wanna taste? Do you wanna taste?
Check it, not from the bay, but I can make you go hype. Your girl won't like me, but your boy might wife. Do the right thing, just like your name was Spike Lee. Ain't gotta do much to run in checks like Nike, Nike, Nike. What's good, y'all? It's your girl, Miss Nessa, aka Blaze Your Mommy, and this is the Realness Podcast, a podcast where I just talk and hope that you listen. No, I'm kidding, but yeah, I just cover some real stuff from a Malaysian point of view and just talk about my upbringings and real life stuff that, you know, I've gone through and things that most people can relate to. Yeah, and all that good stuff. I am obviously late again, but it's okay. It's better late than never, right? Right? Okay, right. So today I was kind of I don't know. So I was kind of like looking through my list of topics and see what should I talk about. So I know for those of you that follow me on Instagram, I had posted a couple weeks ago that I was going to be producing a late episode, but that it was going to be not necessarily juicy, but it'll be worth it. And I say that because everything that I talk about comes from my heart. And I like to, just kind of give you an idea of who I am, why I am the way that I am, and yeah, you know, it's not called the realness for nothing, right? So, it was interesting because I was going to talk about something else, but I was like, oh, I'll save that for next episode. Then I was like, okay, so I started writing my notes, on what I wanted to talk about today. And I had a conversation with my beautiful sis, shout out to Princess, and we were having a deep conversation, and it was crazy because it tied into exactly what it is that I'm going to talk about today. So I just thought that was dope on how that aligned, and it also gave me more content to add on to, so to speak. So yeah, so today I just wanted to talk about my upbringing, and just to let you guys know that it is okay. Nobody has a perfect upbringing. It doesn't matter if people come from money. That does not make you perfect. Money doesn't make you perfect. In fact, they say that money is the root to all evil. It can be. It can be. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of like give you guys, kind of let you get into my world for a second and to see that although we might all be going through different struggles, we are kind of like intertwined in a sense where we resonate with each other, whether it be something big, something small, maybe the entire storyline's the same with a little bit of twist here and there, but you know, we can all appreciate one another, knowing that, you know, we all kind of have similarities in our upbringings. Doesn't matter where you're from. So I just want to share my story. So quick background. I was in my mom's belly. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I was in my mom's belly while she was in the Philippines. That's where my mom and my dad met. Oh, first of all, my dad, let me tell you this. My dad had met my aunt, first of all. My mom is, which I just found out the other day, she is one of what would have been, I think, 12 or 13 siblings. But a few of them didn't make it. So right now there's 9 of them, right? So anywho, that was a little fun fact that I didn't know about. That's a lot of kids. Dang. You know, my mom was over there. Let me stop. Okay. So Pops was in the military. He got stationed in the Philippines. He met my aunt. He was trying to see what's good. And my aunt was like, nah, I'm cool, but I got a sister for you. So he introduced my dad to my now mom, of course. and I guess they hit it off. So um, back in the day in the Philippines, in our culture, you had to court. And I know you've heard of that in the olden days, but their way of courting was like my dad, and I didn't know any of this until I turned 18 and my dad told me the story. But my dad told me that like he basically had to like not just date my mom, but date the whole family, take my mom and papa out. He had to take all her siblings out. Like they would go to the club and it could never just be my mom and my dad alone. They always had to have basically chaperones with them. That's real intense. I would have been like, I'm cool, but I guess he really liked my mom to do all that. Unfortunately, they didn't last too long, but that's neither here nor there. So, anyway, like I said, bringing it back, mom and pops, they get pregnant, have my sister, and then fast forward, my dad gets orders to go to the States, where he goes to his hometown in New York. I'm in my mom's belly in the Philippines, but she doesn't give birth to me till I'm in New York. And then my brother was born in Norfolk, Virginia. And so, yeah, we lived in Philly, we lived in Virginia, we lived in, like I said, New York. I feel like we lived somewhere else, but whatever. Then we ended up moving to San Diego because originally my dad had orders to go to Italy, which what would my life have been had I been in Italy? Like that would have been crazy, right? But yeah, so we came out here in 92, so I was 6 years old. And the crazy thing is, I don't remember too much about my childhood. I don't know why, like for what reason, why, but I ended up kind of blocking out a portion of my childhood, which is why I low-key want to seek therapy to figure out a few things. I need to seek therapy, period, just because I'm kind of crazy, I feel. But not in that sense, just, I just want to get a better understanding of who I am. So I'd be trying to figure that out on a daily. So anyway, the military brought us here, blah blah blah. Okay, so I got here in 92. Pops had to go out to sea, so I didn't really see him too much. I think he left in like 93, so he got out the military. Him and my mom didn't work out, and he ended up leaving. So okay, so I didn't even really talk about what I wanted to touch on. So I kind of want to talk about childhood traumas. I should have started off with that, but I guess it really don't matter. I'm sure that you guys would have got the picture. So yeah, so I didn't really remember my dad being here that much because, like I said, he was out to sea. So I was just kind of here. I know a lot of people remember their childhood, but to me, it's like a blur. And I want to know why that is. But my dad dipped. He moved back to New York for reasons that I do respect 100%. Excuse me. I don't have COVID. That was just a little itchy. I need some water. So he left, and then yeah, so we were just raised by my mom, and it was just crazy. Like I felt like I had to grow up kind of fast because the simple fact that like without my dad here, I didn't realize how much my dad did for us, because like I said, I don't really remember too much of my childhood, but I do remember that my mom was there, but she was just kind of there. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I don't really, it sounds bad, but it's not like I really kind of like had a mother figure in my life. Like she was physically there, but she wasn't emotionally, mentally, nothing there. But I seem to be pretty good. But yeah, like, and this is not me bashing my mom. This is me, like I said, keeping it real, just speaking my truth. So like my mom wasn't there to talk to me about boys and all of that stuff. She wasn't there to like talk about my dreams and aspirations. I played basketball since the 5th grade, so elementary school all the way to 12th grade. My mom didn't go to not one of my games. I think, did she? I don't even think she went to my senior night, my senior year. She might have, but if she did, that was literally the only games that my mom went to. I feel like I was the one that kind of raised my siblings. Like, although I was a middle child, um, shout out to J. Cole. No, but for real, like, so you know how like in school, like you have to fill out packets. I guess I don't know if it was every year or whatever, but you have to fill out the school packets when you're applying for school, I guess. And I would have all three of our packets, my brother, my sister, and I. I would fill everything out, our address, whatever the question. I did everything. So all my mom had to do was sign. And then I learned how to cook. Maybe like not the best. Like I was not no like chef or not chef. I was not no chef or anything. But I was I was cooking for my siblings, helped them with their homework. I learned how to wash clothes. Like I was very like I took initiative, and I kind of like I said kind of like raised all of us, and at a young age, and no fault of my father's, but it's like I don't know, like that's what I was saying. My mom was there, but she wasn't really there. But she did look to me as like the right hand person because I took initiative and because I did all of that. So I grew up pretty fast, and you know, I met my friends, and growing up, they kind of looked at me as like kind of like the motherly figure. And I don't know if I just was craving, my mother's attention so bad, or just wanting to have that motherly figure to what a mother, I guess, was supposed to be like. I really don't know. And this is me as a 34-year-old speaking. I don't really know what thoughts and stuff I had back then, because I guess to me it was kind of like the norm, so I didn't really see anything really wrong with it, if that makes sense. Not too many of my friends that I grew up with had a two-parent household, and if they did, it was like a stepfather, or you know what I mean. Yeah, except for one or two. But other than that, yeah, I don't know. But other than that, the majority of us, I grew up with a lot of half Filipino friends and full Filipino friends, and yeah, that's just kind of what it was. But we weren't all military brats, just a few of us. Um, but yeah, just going back to wishing that I had that motherly figure in my life to talk to me about that. Like, I lost my virginity at the age of 15, to my boyfriend, who I was with for 3.5 years. So I met him freshman year, and then we were on and off, but we officially broke up like halfway through my senior year. And that was, I went through mental, emotional, and physical abuse with this guy, and I felt like I didn't have anyone to talk to. And then just even talking to my homegirls about it, and them not really understanding, because we were all young. So it's not funny, but it's crazy that we revisited that conversation as adults like a few weeks ago, to like two of my really good girls. And like one of them, like, she apologized. She was like, I'm so sorry for not like looking too deep into what you're telling me. You're talking about getting beat by your boyfriend, and I'm just like, oh dang, that sucks. But I was like, it's no fault of your own. Like, you were young. Like, I didn't even really know what was going on, and I ended up staying with him for a few more years. So it's like, it's a lot. That's another conversation. Trust, I have topics on hand. So back to childhood traumas. So then, yeah, so that was that. Like, I felt like I didn't have anyone to talk to, and I wasn't really close to my siblings like that to have that type of conversation. Even though I had an older sister, I had to go to my girls. So then, now to my dad, it's crazy because I've always felt a strong connection with my father, even though he wasn't physically here most of the time. Because, like I said, like he was there for my sister's birth, but he wasn't there for mine or my brother's due to the military. And then, like I said, when things didn't work out between him and my mother, like he ended up leaving, and he, like, so I didn't really have my dad physically there, but financially he was. And I don't know, but I always still felt a strong, connection with him. And I still consider myself a daddy's girl, even though we don't talk all the time. I don't know. I don't know. So it makes me like wonder, like, that what is it that I'm looking for when I'm with these guys that I've dated? Because a lot of times I feel like I'm a very like supportive, and I just want to be there for them, and just it I don't know. Like I said, that's a different conversation. But yeah, but I really did respect the fact that my father left, because I even wrote a whole poem for him on Father's Day one day, and it was pretty dope. I would pull it up, but yeah, I don't feel like I don't feel like looking for it. But yeah, when we became 18, my mother allowed us to fly out there to visit him back in New York, because I'm telling you, when growing up, like they couldn't even get past a 2-minute conversation without arguing. So what happens is they call, or my dad would call, try to talk to us, and my mom would not be having it, hang up, and that's it. So we didn't get to talk to daddy, you know? And that's unfortunate. I do believe that no matter what happens between you and your spouse, you should never involve the kids, because it's not their fault. And my dad could have been the worst person in the world to my mother, and he wasn't. He really wasn't. That's the crazy thing. But but yeah, he could have been the worst person. But as long as he was willing to be there for his children and wanted to, he was financially there, and he wanted to physically be active in our lives. Like, I do believe that, I wonder how life would have been had my dad still been here, or had he, got to talk to us or see us at least on the regular. But guess we'll never know. But like I said, going back to my dad leaving, I respected him so much. The purpose of him leaving was, it was to the point where my dad was never physical with my mom, although I did one time witness my dad shake the mess out of her. And I am not mad at him for it, especially as an adult looking back. Like, it was my mom was very disrespectful that particular time. But other than that, my dad's never put a finger on her, and he's never hit her or anything. But yeah, so like, it's crazy because I have my dad's side of the story, but my mom won't ever talk about it. So it's kind of like, I don't know if it's because she's just who she is, a little Filipino lady, and she's just very prideful and wants to keep things to herself, or if she believes that is none of our business. Like, but then again, I never asked, because I feel like she wouldn't want to talk about it. Like I said, I'm barely getting bits and pieces, little tiny layers being peeled back, and that's after all these years. But yeah. Sorry, I keep going back and forth, going on tangents, but it's all relevant. But yeah, so like I said, I respect my father for leaving, because too many people live in toxic households, and we live in dysfunctional families, and to us it's the norm, and unfortunately it shouldn't be that way. It's okay to have disagreements, it's okay to not get along, but you should never involve your children, as far as like, kind of like, I don't know, like when women hold, out of spite, they like withhold their child. They're like, oh, you can't see my child because X, Y, and Z, or the other way around, because some men are like that too. And I just believe, like, don't use your children as pawns, man. Like, this is it. It's ridiculous. We as individuals just have to do a better job at raising our children. I know it's easy to say, well, be careful who you have children with. But once you're in the moment and you're just like, because some of these people, like, you know, you could have been in love, you know, and just everything's so great. But then once you start living together, once you get married, once you have kids, like the whole dynamic changes. And then you're just like, well, dang, we never really had that conversation on how we want to raise our children, or how, you know, how our households were when we were younger. And then you just have different morals, different, you know, values. And you know, you guys are trying to figure it out on your own. Like, I do believe that this is definitely a conversation that needs to be had with someone, especially if you plan on having children. You guys have to talk about ways that you would like to raise your children, so that there's not no surprises, I guess, so to speak. But even then, you know, some people just do that thing without using protection, and that comes along with it too. If you choose to lay with somebody and not use protection, then you might be liable to have a child together. And if, you know, one or both parties don't believe in a abortion, then that's something that, you know, hey, even if you have as long as you have an understanding, like, look, what we had was cool. I do not see us together as a family, but we do have a child together. Um, let's come up with ways on how we would like to successfully co-parent, because I believe that too many people live in, you know, toxicity because they witnessed that growing up, or not having their father in life. That's been like the story of my life. Like, every time I have my homeboys, they're in these relationships, they're like, oh, I hate my baby mama, but I don't want to leave, you know, I don't want to leave my child. And it's like, you're not leaving your child. Like, trust me, as long as you actively, you know, seek, you know, that you want to be there for them, and let them know every single chance, you know, that you love them, you care about them, and you just want to support them, you know, they'll know. When they get older, they'll know. And that's why I said, even though we were still kind of like young, and even though I don't remember too much in my childhood, I do believe that because of the few times that I got to see my dad, or that I got to speak with my dad, I think that's why I have such a strong connection with him. Because even though I didn't get to see him every day, I know that his presence was there, and that he let me know on every occasion that he, you know, he loved me. Um, so yeah, we just gotta do better with that. With raising our children. There's no parent handbook. I do believe that sometimes there is, like, with funny stuff, like, yeah, I can't even think of anything on top. But as far as just becoming parents, there's no real handbook. Um, we just gotta promote love, like, just raise our children in love, let them know they're loved and cared for. Teach them about health, you know, the importance of, you know, taking care of your health and being active, and just, you know, knowing the signs when something isn't right. Like, go get checked out. I know I personally don't like going to the doctor, especially right now during COVID. I mean, I really don't even have a reason to. But even when I do have reasons to, I still kind of like, I ain't try to go. But I need to know that if it's something that I need to do, I need to go ahead and do that, and stop being so stubborn. We need to start teaching our children about wealth. And, you know, it's one thing to talk about money, but, like, just to tell them, like, look, we got to find a way to not, you know what I mean, just support your children and their dreams and their goals. Because once you do that, then, like, going back to the grads video, you know, teach them about the importance of school, if that is one of your core values, what it is that you want to study in school, so that you're not wasting time, and that we can get you to be the best that you can be, right? Or if they don't see school or college in their future, then entrepreneurship. But I do want to stress the fact that entrepreneurship isn't for everyone. So although that's dope, like, to come with multiple streams of income, sometimes that's not the thing right off the back. And I don't want to say you just gotta have it, but, like, you know, if you want to do the traditional way and go to school and stuff first, then by all means do that, and then look into entrepreneurship. I feel like it shouldn't be just one thing or another. But I know, especially with COVID, there's so many multiple streams of income and people trying to make a quick buck, and and there are successful ways, but then there are also like, this ain't it. And don't force yourself to be in the crowd because you just want to make ends meet. But yeah, but we just gotta all together just break these generational curses and just promote for a better lifestyle, and just love on one another. And I feel like there's so much more that I want to speak on, but I don't want to talk your guys' ears off. There might be a part two, we'll see. But yeah, just just going back off of childhood traumas, like we just got to do better. Yeah, so you got to know a little bit more about me and who I am, and not really why the way that I am. I don't know, maybe we'll see. But I want to leave you guys with a quote, and it's from Mary Carr with a K, and she said, a dysfunctional family is any family with more than one person in it. And I find it funny because that is most definitely true. Again, it was a dysfunctional family is any family with more than one person in it. And that was from Mary Carr. So yeah, well, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I know it touched a little deep. Well, actually, I feel like I just scratched the surface, but I do believe that a lot of things that I spoke on, like, kind of reflects like why I am the way that I am. And like I said, I feel like there's way more things that I can talk about, but that will be for another episode. So if you like this type of content, let me know. If you guys want me to talk about anything else, if you guys, yeah. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoy. Please like, share, comment, all that good stuff. And till next time.